Welcome, Archer and Generals. This is Gamer1745. We're going to play another scenario of Order of Battle Pacific. We are fighting the Pacific War. This is April 18, 1942. After taking off from aircraft carrier Hornet, this is the bombing of Tokyo. B-25 bombed under the command of Lieutenant Colonel James Doolittle has successfully completed the bombing raid over Tokyo. The Japanese are shocked and angered to be confronted by their own vulnerability. Okay. So now we're going to operate down into here. Okay, let's see. The Japanese are expanding their operations in the Solomon Islands, and they are threatening our line of communication with Australia. Their most recent conquest is the small island of Tulagi. Yeah, Tulagi. Boy, I'm blanking on that. There. How to pronounce it? Tulagi. Aerial reconnaissance has revealed that the construction of a seaplane base has started immediately thereafter. Deploy our carrier force in this area. Deploy our carrier forces in this area. Launch a strike against the Tulagi construction group. A swift airstrike should cause significant damage to the exposed support ships and disrupt Japanese plans in the region. Okay. A more pressing matter, however, is the reports of the Japanese invasion force sailing for Port Moresby. A Navy task force has been dispatched to counter the threat and will soon arrive from the west. Enemy aircraft carriers are also known to operate in this area and will certainly support the operations. While it is of the utmost importance that we protect Port Moresby, we must also use the opportunity to destroy that vital part of the enemy fleet, the carriers. Okay, destroy a Japanese carrier, keep at least one carrier alive, which I think we only have one, and protect Port Moresby. Do not lose any carriers, destroy the... Do not lose the oil tanker, destroy the fleet carriers. Okay. And we also have invasion craft available, but we're not going to be using that at the moment, I don't believe. Okay, since this is our most vital mission, we're going to put our extra forces here. Upgrade that. Don't think we have any air bases to put our P-40 on. Okay. Yeah, because they're not a carrier based. Okay, one of the surviving battleships from Pearl Harbor raids is present with our fleet today. Its crew is eager and ready to extract some sweet revenge. Okay. Now, we need to check out what's going on up there. Send the Kingfisher. These are float planes that they would launch off of battleships and heavy cruisers and similar sorts of things. We're going to check for submarines. No, okay. The other thing we need to do, I think, is, yeah, down here, the oil tankers. So, well, okay, we want the fighter up first. These guys will also look for submarines in our path. Don't think there's any Japanese immediately around. We're going to have the surface move faster on the surface. Submarines, I'm sure most of you already know all this, but submarines' power was generated by its generally diesel engines. What they would often do is at night be on the surface, because they weren't submarines like we think of them today as mostly under the water. They would be on the surface at night. They would be running along while they were propelling themselves with the engines on the surface. They were charging up the batteries. Once daylight came, they would submerge and run on the batteries during the daylight because that's when they were most vulnerable. Now, when they're way out in the middle of the Pacific, they generally also run on, or middle of the Atlantic, run on the surface too. It was once they were sort of thought they were getting close to an enemy target, they would go down. And in places like the Mediterranean, they would often spend the whole day below the surface, just because it's shorter distances between air bases and such, so more likely to be spotted from the air. Now, the batteries, you couldn't run at full power all day with the batteries. You could run all day, but at, just throwing out a term, like possibly 1/3 power or something. So if you were going to do a lot of maneuvering rapidly, going after a convoy or avoiding the enemy, you could only do that for a brief while. Now, you could stay down below the surface, normally had enough air, and hide, but you could only have so much maneuvering time. So just simply staying above submarines after a while, you'd run out their battery power, and they'd have to come to the surface to be able to recharge. That was until they got snorkels, which the first ones, to my knowledge, put on submarines were done by the Dutch. And they had their drawbacks too. They filled up our ships and want to get out. I'm going to launch our bombers next. So these guys go in that direction. Quite exactly sure how much area that covers. Now first let's get you moved up to there. I only just covered the area that it's sort of immediately around, but know they're going to be sending me an additional force, so I don't want to get too far out in front of whatever they're sending me. I want it to reinforce. This area, since they said it was the most critical. Did I forget to move this last time? Probably. No, I think I did. Just those guys. Oh, we're waiting there. Oh, there we go. I thought it might be something like that. So our pilots are getting better to shoot up the Japanese. Guadalcanal. The island of Guadalcanal lies ahead just south of Tulagi. As the Japanese continue their conquest of the Solomon Islands, this will be their next target. Okay. Yes, it was. Sure we're not moving. Go for our flank there. One more surface vessel. Okay, that'll get us into position. Now you get to there. base. Now we're keeping under just in case there's chaps flying around or losers. Okay, looks like we've driven off the enemy air. They've got to get to here. Okay, well, we're going to leave the at this turn. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. Please post comments. Love to hear from you. I've learned a bit from some of the comments on how better to play the game from a few of you who have played this, so I do appreciate those. See you next time.